As a base, I'm starting off with Laura Mercier Eye Basics. This is a primer. It's in the shade Wheat, and I've been really liking this primer because it's not as drying on my eyelids as MAC Painterly Paint Pot was getting to be, but it still evens out the eyelid area and it provides a nice canvas for my eyeshadow. So that's my primer. Then I'm going into my Lorac Pro Palette 2, and I'm taking the shades light brown, and I'm using a MAC 224 here, and I'm just going to work this into the crease. Then I'm also going to pick up a little bit of Jane eyeshadow in Clay, which is one of my all-time favorite crease colors. And again, I'm just using the same brush. I'm just kind of mixing those two shades to be my transition color. Now, to really deepen up the smoky eye, I like to use an eyeliner or something that's creamy and opaque to act as a base for the darker eyeshadows. So I'm just using a Kat Von D eyeliner, and I'm just going to blend that out with my finger. Then I'm going to take my Lorac Pro palette, the original one, and one of my favorites ever. I'm going to dip into Sable, which is a nice chocolatey brown color, and I'm just going to pack that on to the lid, right over the eyeliner. I'm using an e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. It's just one of the dollar brushes that I really like because it packs on a lot of eyeshadow. Then I'm going to go back to light brown with my MAC 224, and I'm just going to blend out the edges of that eyeshadow. Now I want to add a little bit more dimension to the eye look, so I'm dipping into Espresso from the Lorac Pro palette, and I'm using a Makeup Geek crease brush. And I really like this brush because it applies color directly or precisely where I want it. And in this case, I just want it on that outer corner just to add, like I said, more dimension and depth to the eye look. And then of course I'm going to go back to my blending brush and just go over everything that I just did, just to make sure that there's no harsh lines. I may have even picked up a little bit more of that light brown shade. And for highlight, I'm going back to the Pro Palette, the Pro Palette 2, and I'm just taking the lightest shade in there, and I'm just placing that right underneath my brow bone just to help everything blend even more. And I also went back to Jane eyeshadow in Clay just because I couldn't help myself and I wanted to add a little bit more warmth to the look. Oh, I just can't get enough of that eyeshadow. For foundation, I'm using Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, and I'm mixing it with Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. Alone, the Estee Lauder I feel like is a little bit too matte for me, but when I add a little bit of the Becca Opal, it just gives it like a prettier finish. Like I still get the matte quality of the Estee Lauder, but it just gives the skin a little bit more of a luminous look. So I'm just going to dot that all onto my face and use my Beauty Blender to blend that in. For concealer, I'm using the NARS Creamy Concealer in Custard, and I'm going to place that underneath my eyes. I'm also going to use this as like a highlight, just to like balance out the concealer, and I dotted a little bit on my blemish because it was bothering me. But yeah, I'm just going to blend that in with my beauty blender as well. And then I'm just going over my eyeshadow with the same brush that I was using before, just in case my concealer blanked out any of it. Okay, so now for brows, I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in Soft Brown, I want to say, or Caramel, one of those two. And I'm just going to lightly fill in my brows because they're looking rather not okay in this video. And then I'm going to set them with some Milani Brow Gel because this stuff's amazing. Next I'm moving on to some liner, and I'm using the Tartiste Clay liner. It is absolutely amazing. I really like this liner. If you have not seen my review on it, I will link that down below. But yeah, I'm just going to do a wing, and I'm also going to tightline with it as well. Now this next step I feel like is so important for me. I always take this highlighting pen by Benefit, it's called Highbrow, and I place a little bit underneath the arch of my brow, and it just cleans up everything. My look, my eyeshadow look, my eyebrows, it makes everything so much better. I'm just going to blend that in with a eyeshadow brush. I'm setting my concealer with this shade from the the Kat Von D contour palette, and I'm just using, I think this is a little Target brush. It's really nice and small. And I'm also going to bronze the face with Hoola bronzer, and this really big brush from, where is this from? Sedona Lace. Oh my god, I just had a brain fart. Yeah, I'm just gonna put that on my temples, on the sides of my face, underneath my jawline, just to bronze up a little bit, not really contouring. Then I'm going back to the contour palette by Kat Von D, and I'm taking the lightest shade and this little brush from Sedona Lace as well. It's like a little contour brush, and I'm just going to chisel out my cheekbones. I've also really been into like contouring the sides of my nose. It's so strange because I never used to do it, but I really like how it looks like when I'm filming or like pictures. It does make a difference, and I totally just picked my nose, so sorry. But I switched to a smaller brush because it just helps it look a little bit more blended. And because I contoured the sides of my nose, I'm also going to highlight the middle of my nose, and I kind of just went over it a little bit just to blend it with that smaller brush that I was using before. And I'm just going to put on some eyeliner. I'm going back to the Lorac Pro palette, and I'm taking that same shade, Sable, on a smaller brush. This is the MAC 239, and I'm just going to start blending that underneath the eye, kind of blending it out into kind of like the eyeliner, just to smudge that out a little bit. And then I'm just going to curl my lashes and apply a couple of coats of my favorite mascara, which is by Clinique. This is High Impact Mascara. It's amazeballs. So I can't for the life of me figure out what I did to the end of this tutorial. Like I lost a couple of clips from the end, so I'm just gonna have to tell you exactly what I did on my lips. I put on Milani's nude lip liner and MAC Creme de Nude lipstick, and it made a beautiful nude lip. And then on my cheeks, I just used Hourglass's Mood Exposure, which you guys already know is one of my all-time favorite blushes in the world. And that is it. That is my tutorial. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye!